that won't stop moving.
Don't speak the language.
Music,
Don't need explaining.
I know that in the morning now, it's gonna be alright. I keep grooving.
Hey guys, if you guys want to see how I contour and highlight on a daily basis, then keep on watching. I've already done my foundation and I've let it sit on my skin for a little while. I went in with a sheer to medium coverage foundation, and I do that because I am piling on other products and I don't want to look too cakey. You do you, and you pick whatever foundation that suits your skin the best and you feel like looks flawless, not cakey or powdery all day long, because that's going to be your best bet. So first I am going in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. It's in NW20, and I'm just going to go in a triangle underneath my eyes with this. So it's very important that you go in with cream products before you go in with powder. So like I said, I haven't set my face with powder or anything whatsoever. That is because if you go in with powder and then you go in with liquid, it's gonna cake up and look really muddy and you're not gonna blend it well. This just looks really airbrushed. So I take my damp beauty blender, and in my opinion, that is the best way to get my concealer to blend out and look airbrushed and not cakey at all. Straight down from the inner corner of my eye, down to the bottom of my nose, and then I bring it straight back up to my temples. And this creates a nice lifted effect and basically will draw attention away from any dark circles or puffiness you do have underneath your eyes. I'm using bouncing motions, I'm not rubbing it. That way the concealer stays and it shears out because the sponge absorbs any excess product. So you can see that already gave me a nice lifted effect. I go about 2 shades lighter for my under eye concealer, and that will be nice and bright but not white underneath my eyes and look really unnatural. So I take whatever excess concealer I have on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna lightly dot it on the other parts of my face. I balance out the highlight, that way it doesn't look really unnatural. So I bring it on my chin, my forehead, a tiny bit down my nose, and then my Cupid's bow. So I'm going to take my MAC Prep and Prime highlighter pen in Light Boost. This is the yellow tone. I did feature it in my April favorites. So the yellow tone is a brightener for medium to tan skin tones. So I'm basically going to draw a little tree or flower on my forehead. If you have a larger forehead, you're going to want to highlight just a little region, but if you have a small forehead and you want it to appear larger and lifted, you're going to highlight larger. And then I'm going to bring this on my chin, a little bit on my Cupid's bow, a little bit down the center of my nose. I'm going to take it on the high points of my cheekbones. And then you look like a little warrior. So again, I am taking my beauty blender and I'm just going to blend all of this out. And you can tell what a difference that highlighter pen does for my highlight on my cheeks. So the reason why we highlight is we want to bring whatever pieces are lighter on your face, your cheekbones, your high points of your face, so your cheekbones, your chin, your nose, you want to bring those forward. That's what the highlight does, and you want to accentuate them. For me, the center of my eyebrows always seems a little bit darker, so I make sure I highlight in between my eyebrows. And then when I go on the bridge of my nose, I'm just using a bouncing motion. I'm not rubbing it, because for me, my nose seems to cake up or the product breaks off. So I'm better off not rubbing and just tapping and bouncing. Up here, a lot of women have it, discoloration right on your mustache line, and it looks like a legit mustache, so it's okay to highlight that area. If you put a ton of product on that area, it can cake up and then attach to any peach fuzz you do have or make it look like more of a mustache. So that's why I do like the beauty blender. It absorbs any excess product that you might have. I do have my KatVonD Shade and Light palette. I also have my contour kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So it doesn't matter if you have either one of these palettes or if you have one or the other. I'm going to kind of take you step by step through how to use them. They both have very similar colors, so you can use either or, whatever you have or whatever your preference is. Very important to set your concealer, otherwise throughout the day it might move and slide or crease on your little fine lines under your eyes or wherever you do have them. I'm taking my Shade and Light brush. If you don't have this brush, like this one's my e.l.f. blush brush. I think these were like $3. You can buy these at Target. This one's really nice for under the eye concealer. It has a nice point to it, so it does fit beautifully right underneath your eye. Something nice and precise like this will work great. So I'm gonna just blend my under eye concealer a little bit more to make sure it didn't crease while we were chatting. And I'm gonna take a little bit of the banana shade and a little bit of the vanilla shade, and I'm gonna tap off the excess. This ensures that I don't have too much powder going on, because the more powder you have, you might look old, crepey skin and not moisturized, bouncy skin. So, and then I'm gonna start in the inner corner of my eye, and I'm just gonna press the powder in. I'm not going to rub, I'm gonna bounce and press. Because if you rub, you're gonna rub all your concealer off or move it, and we've just got it to where we want it. And I try to look up, starting from the inner corner of my eye while I'm looking up, and I bring it down to where I stopped my highlight, and then I bring it back up my cheekbones. The last step I take is going inward, and that prevents creasing even more. I'm going to take the mix of the same two vanilla and banana colors, and I'm going to set the center of my forehead here. Now I'm just kind of lightly rolling the brush and then patting all of my highlighted region here. And just taking whatever's left over on my brush, and I'm going on my chin. This is optional. This is just for a further highlight. I'm going in with my MAC Emphasize powder. It's a shaping powder, and I'm just gonna lightly bring this on just the high points of my cheekbones. This just kind of creates a more highlighted effect. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video to show you all of your options, and if you wanted that really nice Kim Kardashian bright cheekbone, then this will help you out with that. On to contouring. Before I go in with my contour, I'm gonna warm up my skin with a bronzer. Whatever you have at home for your favorite warm toned bronzer will work perfectly. Anything without shimmer. The Hoola Benefit bronzer, that one's amazing. You can use it to contour and to bronze. If you go in with a cool toned contour first, it's gonna look unnatural and could look muddy. So I go in with a nice fluffy brush. This is from Real Techniques. It's just like a fluffy powder brush. For the KatVonD palette, right now I'm gonna go in with this middle shade here. It's more of a warm toned. Warm toned means it's like terracotta, orangish red, versus cool toned, like grayish toned. If you have the Anastasia contour palette, I would go in with either one of these shades, but very lightly. Probably this one if you're more on the light to medium skin tone. So the reason why you're contouring now is basically any parts of your face that you want to recede and suck in, like your nice cheekbones. You want to carve out those cheekbones, or your jawbone, or whatever, the size of your forehead. That's why we contour. I'm going to start on the side of my forehead. I'm gonna bring it down my cheekbones, but I'm gonna not take it any further in than the center of my eye. And then I'm gonna bring it down my jawline. And if you want, you can bronze your neck a little bit to blend all the colors. I used to be one of those girls who like bronzed my entire face. It looked muddy and terrible and orange. But just stick with the three, okay? So forehead, cheekbones, jawbone. So now that we've warmed up our skin a little bit, it's time to go in with the actual contouring. The shade that I'm going to be using in the KatVonD palette is this cooler tone grayish brown shade, and the reason why I'm going in with a grayish toned brown is to create a shadow. So the shadows on your face are never orange. The shadows on your face are a little bit cool toned, so they're grayish. Whatever works for your skin tone. Now, contouring is very different, so is highlighting, depending on your face shape. So if you have a bigger chin, you're not going to want to highlight this region of your chin as much because it's going to stand out more. So if you have a round face, you're going to want to contour your cheekbones and your jawbones, but you don't want to contour underneath your chin, because if you contour underneath your chin, it's just going to make it look shorter. If you do have the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette, this middle shade right here is perfect for contouring. A lot of times I do like to go in with this brush here. It's from Sigma. It's the small contour F05 brush, Anything that's nice and tapered or small enough to fit like right underneath your cheekbones, but not be too harsh. Just something that can chisel out your cheekbone with is gonna work amazing. I line up my brush from the top of my ear and I bring it straight in a line down to the corner of my mouth, and that's where I want my contour to go. You can feel underneath your cheekbone and then you're gonna know where your line is. I don't like to do the fish face because I feel like it doesn't do anything for me. I don't know, it doesn't really create a shadow for me. If you can't feel your cheekbones, then definitely use that line that I said there, okay? Slowly kind of drawing a line down to the outer corner of my eye. So yeah, I stop at the outer corner of my eye. I don't bring it in any further than that. And that just assures me to not have a beard or anything. So what I do first is I draw that line and I get that going. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my brush and I bring it back up. So then I start blending back and forth. So it's best to blend in an upward motion because if you blend down, you're going to make this whole area here dark, whereas this whole area here, you want it to stay light. You're only contouring your cheekbones because that's the only area that you really want to recede away and look like a nice shadow. So you can always go in with more product if you need it. So it's best to, like I said, be able to build it up versus having to blend it away. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like to have a nice strong contour right at the back of my ear. So I go in with a tiny bit more product and I do carve this out right here. Don't press too much because if you press a ton, you might move your foundation underneath it. You guys see that line? And blend lightly and flip my brush and just kind of blend in circular upward motions, never bringing it down. I don't want to bring it up too far, so there's like a little like ½ inch window where I do like to blend it softly. I don't want to bring it above my cheekbones because that's where we highlighted and that's where we want it to stay nice and light and shiny. So just kind of staying in that one area but not making it a harsh line. You can also contour your jawbone. What I like to do is take my contour shade and go in the back of my jaw and I just feel where my jaw stops and I go in there and then I bring it down my natural jawline. If you do have a large chin, that's what you would want to do. You want to contour up to here and bring your brush and just your darker color right there.
You can do what you wanna do.
So I just take a Sigma Blending E25 brush. It's just a small little tapered blending brush and I tap it a little bit into my contour shade here. I basically just draw a line on the outer parts of my nose and you can also connect it to your eyeshadow if you're wearing a neutral colored eyeshadow, bringing it right underneath your eyebrow bone, and that's gonna make it look very natural because your nose naturally contours there. Contouring your nose is amazing. If you don't like your nose, you can give yourself a 5-minute nose job by contouring it. I'll bring it down to the tip of my nose too to create a little button shape. I don't have a ton of product, so it's really not going to do much. Just a little color. I want it to look nice and flawless and airbrush, so I go in with a duo fiber brush to make sure it's nice and blended. Now that's the key for contouring and highlighting, is to blend, blend, blend. Otherwise, it will look too harsh for everyday wear. Next, I'm gonna go in with my blush, and I'm just taking an angled fluffy brush, almost right on top of your contour, but right below your highlight, that little area there. And I don't like to bring it on the apples of my cheek to keep it back more towards my ear. And I'm just gonna lightly start kind of at the outer corner of my eye, and I'm gonna blend it backwards. I am going in with my Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in beige, and I'm just going to take it on a tapered highlighter brush from Sigma. It's the F35 brush, and you can pretty much use your fingers if you wanted. And basically you're going to highlight where we already highlighted before, but I like to stay away from the inner rim of my eye because I do have fine lines and wrinkles under there, and the more you highlight, the more that you're bringing attention to the flaws in your face. So if you go in too much, you'll bring attention to those wrinkles. Or if you have texture right here, if you do highlight with the shimmer highlight, it's gonna bring attention to that. So it's up to you if you wanna do this step, but I just like it for the full contouring and highlighting routine. So I'm gonna take it to high parts of my cheekbones. Now, some people like that really dewy look, but if you're oily, you might not wanna do this. Bring it around the apples of my cheeks and blend it backwards towards my blush just a little bit. I like to also take this on the bridge of my nose, and I like to bring it down the center of my nose and then at the tip of it as well to create that button look. I like to bring it on my Cupid's bow, the right above the high part of my eyebrow, and I bring it down my cheek. Not a ton though, right there, but if you do that, you're gonna have that supermodel on the beach glow. Alright guys, so this is the final result for my everyday contouring and highlighting routine. I hope you all found this tutorial easy to follow, and I hope you guys can all try something out at home that works for you. Let me know if you guys did like this tutorial by giving it a like and a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.